Welcome back inside the Simplified Technology Solutions Intermissions Report. First period of action between the Austin Bruins and Minnesota Wilderness from up here in Cloquet in the books. Before we go any further and get you the recap of that first period, let's go ahead and take a listen back to an interview that I had earlier this week with Bruins forward Ben Oakland. Hey, Ben, thanks again for coming on and talking to the Austin faithful. We really appreciate your time here tonight.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you having me on.
So I want to talk to you a little bit. Ironically enough, last night we had Camden Gallagher on, another Boise, Idaho native, and you two being born in Boise and from that area. One thing I didn't ask Camden is we didn't find too much about what the hockey life is like in Idaho. So can you tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up, how you got into the sport of hockey and what it was like being in Idaho?
Yeah, hockey in Idaho is definitely not a big sport. It's been growing over the last few years, but it definitely wasn't something that all my friends at my school and stuff did. But I had a cousin who's actually from the cities here in Minnesota that played hockey. And I just kind of got into it through there and then just joined all the local hockey stuff that we had around. And just loved the sport and obviously couldn't stick around there forever. So had to move on a little bit. But yeah, good, not a great hockey place, but definitely super thankful for it.
You definitely did move on, and where you moved on to would be Northstar Christian Academy, somewhere where you spent the better part of 2 seasons, and it's a pretty prestigious hockey school. I mean, when you talk about the players that come out of Northstar Christian Academy in the NAPHL and that AAA level, and you played with Jens Richards up there, another Austin Bruins forward. What was that experience like moving from Idaho, going into Minnesota and going from an area where hockey really wasn't all that big of a deal into Northstar Christian Academy, where hockey is a very big deal?
Yeah, I loved it. I got to spend 2 years at Northstar and actually got to be a part of the inaugural year of the whole academy. So I feel super blessed to be able to say that I was a part of that. I loved every part of Northstar. I think that the staff and the people that run it are just incredible people. And I loved all the boys on the team. We were pretty close for the 2 years. And, luckily we had a lot of good players that were able to allow us to be a good team and actually win some games. So I love Northstar.
It's one of those areas, we talk about Jens Richards, but also Aberdeen Wings forward Jacob Stender was a guy that you came across. Anthony Mangini, who's a tender of the Austin Bruins, is expected to be here next year. So you're going to have some more familiar faces around you. And I want to talk about the familiar face aspect. Obviously, this is your first year in junior, so you're used to not being at home because you went from Boise to Alexandria when you were up with Northstar, and now you're in Austin. Was it better for you to have someone who you had played with before, in the sense of Jens Richards, to just have at least a familiar face while you guys get used to the junior hockey way of life?
Yeah, definitely. That was a huge part. Jens Richards actually tendered here before me, and obviously I spent 2 years with them and became pretty close. So that was a big part of kind of picking to be a Bruin. And, like we said before, Camden Gallagher, he's from Boise. And Connor Milmook lived in Boise for a while too. So that was really nice being able to come in, having 2 older vets that I know and another rookie like Jen. So it made the transition super easy. And yeah, it was super helpful having them.
When you first got to Austin and you start playing in some games, what were your first thoughts, as you get onto the junior hockey level? Were you immediately thinking, whoa, this is way faster than I'm used to? Or were you excited? Were you nervous? What was some of the emotions going into those first couple of games as you made your debut and got started?
I think it was a little bit of all of it. Definitely excited. Juniors is something that we all work hard for and look forward to for a long time. So it's exciting to get into those games, but at the same time, you're nervous and it's a big step up. So it was definitely a great experience. And right off the bat, you could just tell these guys are bigger and faster and stronger. So it was definitely a big step up.
What kind of player would you describe yourself as? When we talk about, as Austin fans watch you here over the course of the rest of the season and next year and however long you're still here, when you look back, you were a 31-point getter in Northstar last season, actually 38 if you include both the NAPHL and just the regular AAA portion of the schedule that Northstar plays in. What kind of player are you expecting to be, and what kind of player should fans look out for and see? Are you a goal scorer? Are you a physical guy, a grinder? What do you think your skill set is on the ice?
Yeah, I kind of look at myself as being sort of like a power forward. Definitely, I like to hit people and, be strong on the F1 and, not afraid to be in the corners and stuff. But I also think that I have the ability to score some goals and assists. So I'd say power forward.
You seem to be the type that fits exactly into head coach Steve Howard's type system, because he looks for those guys who are not afraid to get into the dirty areas. It seems like our roster is littered with guys like that. When you talk about like the Peter Jacobs and the John Lundys and the Reggie Millettes, and you seem to be the second generation of that as we go forward. And some of those older guys kind of, hit the end of their eligibility. So when we look forward, what are some of the goals that you're hoping to have accomplished by the end of your first year? It doesn't have to be anything major, but what are you working towards this season?
Definitely the end goal is to be able to play Division I hockey. So whether that happens this year, the next, is definitely just the goal, and will be like that for every year. But just continuing to, make like a name for myself in the null and just kind of prove myself in the lineup and on the team, and just kind of continue to grow through my first year.
Well, we're excited to watch you grow on the ice this year. And as we go forward, we're happy to have you here, and we'll keep an eye out for number 12 out there in black and gold. Thanks for taking the time here, Ben. And we look forward to watching you this season.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
That was Bruins forward Ben Oakland. We got plenty more coming up on the Simplified Technology Solutions Intermissions Report right after this.